Welcome to our podcast on drug development diaries, where we discuss science, strategy, and stories in drug development. We invite speakers who have authored chapters in the textbook that we published called Approved
Yeah,
Life Cycle of Drug Development. And Dr. Sumati Rao has written the chapter on health economics, pricing, and reimbursement. So, welcome, Sumati, to this conversation.
thank you, Narain. Thank you very much. Thank you for the invitation.
Yeah.
Look forward to the discussion.
Yeah. So, Sumati, you and I know each other for many years now.
Yes.
Through completely orthogonal learnings. You play the sitar, I play the tabla, and so we
And the
learn something
flute.
completely different. So,
Yeah.
but Sumati has a PhD, and then she has worked in the area what is called, and correct me if I'm wrong, health economics research. But you'll elaborate on this a little bit
Yeah.
more. And she currently is senior director at GSK in Philadelphia area, and but she's worked in this area for 20 plus years, maybe 25
25
years or
years.
so,
Yes.
25 years. So she has a wealth of experience. And over the last couple of years, she has been coming to India also and the US, and she goes a lot to Europe. So she has a real good view of what's happening in health economics around the world. So welcome, Sumati, to this podcast, and I look forward to talking to you about health economics. So maybe we can get started by telling us a little bit of how do you define value of a drug and its pricing.
Yeah, sure. Value is defined in several different ways depending on whom you ask. But
Mm,
when you ask a person in health economics what the value is, it's pretty much based on the patient outcome.
mm,
So it includes efficacy, safety, of course, toxicity, but it's beyond that. We look at quality of life and we also look at affordability.
oh,
So the drug may be efficacious. The trial may show superior efficacy and less toxicity, but if the quality of life of the patient is not improving, and if the price is really high, the value is diminished.
mm,
So we look at the entirety of the product in terms of efficacy, safety, quality of life, affordability, and access for the patient.
yeah. Um, I guess this field has been around for a long time. So I guess the
Right.
beginning of pharmaceutical industry itself. But in your opinion, like at what juncture do you think that this became such an important? I mean, in the 30 years ago, maybe 40 years ago, when you and I probably started working in the industry, we used to say, "Hell, you get a drug approved with good efficacy and good safety, and that's pretty much it." And then when did this aspect of value start coming into the industry? So it's a historical.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. You're right. I mean, when I got into this field, pharmacoeconomics was becoming a buzzword.
Hmm.
And it was a term that many people did not know what it was. It became very important when insurance companies came into the picture. It was always important in Europe, especially in countries like UK and Germany, where these countries have something called health technology assessments.
Hmm.
So they had something, they continue to have the same regulations, cost effectiveness analysis. In the US, people still have the impression that once the FDA approves the drug, everyone can use it, but
Yeah.
that's not true.
Hmm.
Because the prices have gone up,
Hmm.
and there are many insurance companies now, as recent as a year or 2 years ago, there are a lot of policies coming out. Innovation is becoming big. You're getting new drugs with all kinds of innovation. So over the past 10 years, pricing and cost and affordability has become very, very important. You're right. I mean, when we got into this field, it was all about efficacy and safety only, but it's no longer the case.
Yeah.
It's evolved since the
Yeah,
time we started, research.
exactly. So, follow-up question on the discussion of health economics. What are the current trends, and where is the field going in the future
Yeah.
in this area?
Yes. When it comes to health economics, the current trends, let me start with I recently attended a leadership meeting where an external consulting company called IQV came
Hmm.
and presented on what is happening in terms of drug pricing. There is a strategy that many of these companies are putting together.
Hmm.
It's not, just randomly doing it. But the strategy on the launch, it is either starting with either indication stacking versus indication sequencing. Now, indication stacking is where the company will say, you know what, we will launch this drug with multiple indications simultaneously or rapidly, starting with a large population,
Right.
and we'll put a premium price
Right.
um, because they want to navigate through this Inflation Reduction Act. This is very US specific, but then
Yeah.
it could also affect Europe.
Right.
Inflation Reduction Act got rolled out by the Biden administration, which is all in full swing even now with the current administration as well. Inflation Reduction Act is price negotiation right at the time from the time the drug gets approved, and it's 7 years for 7 years for small molecules and 13 years for biologics.
Hmm.
So
Hmm. Hmm.
the government, soon after 7 years of patent, when it expires, the government will come and say, we want to put the price down,
Hmm.
for this product.
Yeah.
So the reason why some pharmaceutical companies would want to do indication stacking is because they want to make the maximum revenue within those 7 years or within those
Of
13
course. Of
years.
course.
So that's navigating through the IRA. The risk about that, the benefit is, they'll make money within those 7 years. The risk is HTA, NICE, or these Germany IQWIC, which is another HTA agency in Germany. They may push back and say, look, we are not going to reimburse this drug because the price is really high. It's no way we are going to be able to afford this drug. US payers may say, we're going to put a step at it. We would rather give generics and not this branded drug. So that's the risk, but some companies are taking that risk and saying, we will navigate through this and we will do the right analysis in terms of budget impact model,
Yeah.
cost
Yeah. Yeah.
effectiveness.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to indication sequencing, the company will decide to launch a drug or a product on a small population
Hmm.
and look at where is the high unmet need
Hmm.
in a small population
Hmm.
and put a
Hmm.
premium price and then add on other indications and continue to, have that premium price. And
Right.
then, of course, IRA will kick in. That's when the negotiation happens. This is very common in oncology, and the example is Keytruda. Keytruda
Hmm.
started with melanoma, then they went into renal cell carcinoma, and boom,
Right.
they took lung.
Right.
So now they have the premium price there for the larger population. So
Yeah.
there is a strategy that's being put for pricing to navigate through these policies that are being rolled out.
Yeah.
The
Good.
effect or that can happen is the future trend. Let me talk about the future trend. The future trend is we don't know how these policies are going to affect in the future. Currently, the situation in the US is there's a lot of pressure being put on PBMs, pharmacy benefit managers, where they're saying, you guys are getting a lot of money from these industries, pharmaceutical industries. You got to, you cannot negotiate on
Yeah.
on a high
Yeah.
price.
Yeah.
Now, we don't know how that is going to benefit the patient at the end? We have no idea. We have yet to see, but that whole pressure is ongoing right now. And also, let's not forget, China is becoming a powerhouse
Yes.
with innovative treatments coming out. They will take over. And with all these pricing pressures that are going on in the US, R&D manufacturing may shift to
Yeah.
Europe. It may
Yeah.
shift
Yeah.
to China.
Yeah. No,
But
this
these
is
are my views. These are
yeah.
my
No,
views. I
absolutely.
don't
Absolutely. No, no. This is a great overview of what's coming, and there's a lot coming. Yeah. So thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So just wanted to mention that, which
Yeah.
is
Yeah. Good. Good.
very
Good.
interesting.
Yeah. 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 Can you tell us a little bit about the pricing differences and the reasons for the pricing differences in the various regions, especially
Right.
United States, Europe, maybe Asia, maybe Japan, other countries? We give and reasons why, what the factors are in the different
Yeah.
pricing.
Right. So pricing is an art. It's not a science. So when a drug price is put together, the components that go into a price is the R&D cost. It is also dependent on, of course, the efficacy, safety, and the value, as I just defined what the value is in terms of patient outcomes, and also marketing costs and looking at the market dynamics, and how much can the market take in terms of the price and how innovative is it. So no matter what, a pharmaceutical company or a manufacturing company, when they launch an innovative drug, they start with a premium price. And when you talk about the pricing varies, the drug price varies within the country and it varies between countries
Yes.
as well. Because in Europe, for example, let me start with Europe.
Yeah.
Europe has something called international reference pricing.
Hmm.
So they look at, they put a price, they put an average price referring to a country and anchoring it to a GDP. And they go with the price based on the low, medium, high income ranges of the population in that specific country. So it sounds simple, but then there is a list of reference pricing that they have and they refer to. When it comes to the US, there is something called the AWP, average wholesale price, where we call it a sticker price. A pharmaceutical industry will put a manufacturing company will put a sticker price, and then that is taken to, it gets a little complicated where that price is negotiated with PBMs. They're called benefit managers.
Right.
Pharmacy benefit managers are, there are three major PBMs in the US: CVS, Cigna, Express Scripts, and United Healthcare Optum.
Right.
So what gets complicated here is that when a manufacturing company puts a sticker price, they have to sell that price, that is AWP, to a pharmacy, to the PBM. And there is a lot of negotiation that happens. Negotiation happens at a highest price, and what's getting a little political and out in the public is that this negotiation is not easily seen by the public. It's not transparent.
Yeah.
So then that whole negotiation happens, and whatever that price is put is considered for a sell of a drug to a patient. It doesn't affect the patient much because the patient usually has an insurance, and what affects is the out of pocket cost. So that is the chain of the process that's going on in the country, in the
Right.
US at the moment.
Right. So,
Then, in terms of that, in addition to that, there are something called rebates. The manufacturing company can give rebates. They can also work on contracts, and most of the time it is value-based contract.
Mm, mm.
It's like a risk-sharing negotiation that sometimes happens even in Europe.
Yeah.
Uh, they will sell the drug for a price, saying that, look, if you don't see the value, you give the money back, but if you see value in terms of outcomes, we will increase the price
Yeah,
for you.
I'm going to ask you a question specifically about that to go on. So, to continue this regional differences, I know you worked on majority of your career in the United States and Europe, and also read a lot about that. But recently, you've been coming to India, and I'll tell you some of the conversations that are happening here are primarily cost of goods
Yeah.
for what it takes to manufacture a product, and then a margin above that. There's some probably some value-based pricing a little bit, but consider, for example, cell and gene therapies, which cost about half a million, $500,000 in the U.S., and it's about $50,000 here in India. So I mean, I think this regional differences of pricing is going to become a big social debate in society in the future, isn't it? So, in your opinion, what kind of things should pharmaceutical industries, or also people who are working in the pharmaceutical industry, think about when they're developing these drugs? Because this book that we've written is
Yeah.
about the life cycle of drug development. There's generics, there's all of these things that come into play. So I know it's a very broad question that I'm asking, but this is sort of in my mind also how to think about, how does a scientist
Yes.
who doesn't have any knowledge about pricing, how should a scientist be thinking about pricing when developing or designing a drug?
Yes. So let me step back there. Let's go back to the value, right? So we start looking at the value of a product, right from the life cycle, like you mentioned, of a trial of a drug based on the trial. Ideally, we should be talking about the value from phase two onwards, phase two and phase three, and before the launch. We have to give inputs to R&D saying that, look, this drug may be great, efficacy, you are anticipating it to be superior to the competitor. However, we want to look at we want to put a price based on a lot of other factors that we would want to see. Does it reduce hospitalization? Does it reduce inpatient visits? Or does it, where are the cost offsets, in this treatment? Does it reduce surgery? If there is something like surgery that is needed for these patients, where are we saving money for the healthcare system or for the patient? Based on that, we put a price. And then that's when whole analysis in terms of cost effectiveness analysis, we can talk about what that is, QALYs, quality adjusted life years, all that comes into picture. So we have to give this direction to R&D right from phase two, and then before it moves on to phase three, and then you put a price. So that's the kind of analysis and the process that is needed. We have to give inputs. We are currently at the moment, in my current role, it's called a target product profile,
Yes.
TPP, or target medicine profile. Depending on which company you work for, it's
Right.
called TMP here at GSK. So we give inputs to R&D saying that, look, even your comparator that you have in the phase two or phase three won't fly in the US because the standard of care has changed. You you have to think of the current situation, the current treatment that's there in the market. So those are the kind of inputs we have to give to R&D beyond just looking at efficacy and safety. Um, Let me talk about the CAR T cell
Yes.
therapy.
Yes.
Why is the price high? The
Yes.
price is high because the quality is one. Because, quality adjusted life year is a quality adjusted life year is a metric where it takes into the quality of life of the patient and quantity of life. It looks at the length of duration of whatever response or duration of length of survival of the patient.
Right.
The patients are getting cured, you know, so why would the pharmaceutical industry not put a premium price? So QALY ranges from 0 to 1. 0 means pretty much death, 1 means perfect health. So if the quality is 1, the price will be high. And cost effectiveness is going to be superior to the comparator. So whatever you want to say, that's what the industry will do. And if the market is able to sustain it or take it, they will do it, you know. There is no debate there. So that's the reason why prices are the way it is. And like I said before, no matter what, a pharmaceutical company will always put a premium price on an innovative
Yes.
drug that they're launching. If
Yeah.
it is innovative, if it is a Me Too kind of a drug where it's not very different from a drug that's in the market, then a lot of negotiation happens. We can go on to the policies that are being rolled out and how that is affecting. We'll get to that point. But this is the whole aspect about drug pricing.
Yeah. No, I think that's a great overview. I think there's so much we can talk about in terms of,
Yeah,
generic drugs, which is, which brings down pricing, competitiveness, or
yeah,
in the biosimilars market and all of that. But I feel I want to stick to the novel drugs for this podcast or for this
yeah,
book also, where we
yeah.
focus on most of that aspect. So changing gears a little bit, Sumati, how did you get into health economics?
Yes. My career, my academic DNA, as I like to call it, is psychology. Surprised. It's not health economics.
Who knew?
From
I've been
master,
talking to you for 25 years and I didn't know that.
I know, from master's to a PhD, my subject has been clinical psychology. However, and my degrees are from India and England. So when I went to England, I had the opportunity to work at the Health Economics Consortium, and that's where I got into the interest of health economics. And you may also want to say that it's the influence of my uncle, who is a professor of economics, maybe hearing him talking about economics as
Yeah.
well. So I got into that interest of numbers, and quickly I realized that I am drawn towards the quantitative analysis, like statistics and economics and numbers, and not, tell me how you feel or
Of the
tell
psychology,
me
yeah.
a
Yeah, of
story of my childhood. I don't mind talking about it, but then I'm more drawn towards the analysis, data analysis.
very interesting.
So, yeah. So when I was doing my PhD, there's a little bit of a funny story. I was finishing my PhD. I was writing my dissertation on the psychological and economic aspects or effects of cancer treatment in England. I was just about ready to submit my dissertation when one of the professors, he threw a curveball and said, hey, look, you have to write a chapter on qualitative analysis, discourse analysis of the patient interviews that you have done. I said, oh my goodness, this is going to kill me. The struggle was really, very real. I ended up taking help of a friend who was specializing, he was my peer, specializing in social psychology, all about qualitative analysis. He was very, very difficult. He gave me a very difficult time. Anyway, I survived it, and he ended up being a very good friend of mine. He is now a professor of social psychology in Greece. So we still talk about those days of my struggle of doing discourse analysis. But anyway, I mean, after that, I had an opportunity to come to the US to do a postdoctoral fellowship, and the fellowship was from Amgen.
Yeah.
Amgen sponsored that fellowship for me. My time was split between University of Arizona and UCLA, and it was on pharmacoeconomics.
Wow.
Uh,
Yeah. That's
Pharmacoeconomics
all.
is a blend of psychology, economics, and statistics. So I came to the right place, you
Yeah,
know.
no, and then you've been at companies like Abbott and
Yes, then I
Bayer.
navigated between four different major pharmaceutical companies. After my postdoc, I started my pharma company experience life in pharma industry. Started in Eli Lilly, then went over to now Pfizer, which was Wyeth before. AbbVie and now and BMS, and now I'm here at GSK. So it's been a long road, but very fruitful and very rewarding, you know. So
I, yeah, I think usually Vihang and I do this thing together. Today he's traveling, and and that's why I
yeah,
decided to do it myself. But you know, the question that he asks, and I'll ask it for him, is this podcast that we do, also the book that we've all written together, is primarily for students, young professionals who are getting into the field. So, any advice on people who are looking to make health economics as their career choice?
mm, yes. Um, Efficacy and safety is still going to be the core. It's having that scientific foundation is very essential. If they want to get into this kind of field, market access is becoming very critical and important.
Hmm.
The healthcare system or healthcare in general globally is changing drastically
Yeah, yeah,
all
yeah,
over the world,
yeah.
whether it is Europe, Asia, or the US.
Absolutely.
And pricing and accessibility to treatments is becoming extremely critical. So getting into market access or even marketing, marketing is also another area where having that science background, scientific foundation is so critical and important. And I would also say I would encourage, health economics or epidemiology is
Yeah.
another area where they can specialize in. Being a numbers person, I would encourage going towards statistics and
Hmm.
doing statistical analysis or doing courses in statistics and health economics. I would encourage that. And also now being the AI value these days is all about AI and technology. I would say embrace it. Just go for all this innovative tools and technology. I am all for it.
Wow.
Especially
Yeah.
in healthcare. AI is going to evolve a lot in healthcare. So
Hmm. Hmm.
go for
Hmm.
it, embrace it.
All right. No, this was great. I have a out of syllabus thing for you.
Yes.
It's a rapid fire session that we're going to do. About five
Oh my gosh.
questions.
Okay.
All
All
right.
right. Let's see how this goes.
And if you don't feel like answering the question, there's always a pass option.
No,
No,
that's
no,
all
no,
right.
no, they're all simple questions. They're all nothing
Okay.
complicated. Um, Favorite teacher in school, college that has influenced you? Favorite teacher?
Favorite teacher was my math teacher in school. I still remember the certain things that she taught me in trigonometry.
Ah,
All silver teacups, all is positive, T positive, S positive, whatever.
amazing,
My
amazing.
favorite teacher was math teacher.
Cool. Um, you can take your time in thinking about this before you answer. Is three words that describe you.
Three words that describe me. Okay. I'm told this and I know this as well. I can be direct and in a good way. Direct. That's one thing about me. And the other thing is three words about me. Um, hmm, Being direct, um, music, enjoy
Yeah,
music.
absolutely.
My art is creativity is only music. I'm not as creative as you,
Hmm.
Naren.
No, no, you've done a lot of
Uh,
interesting work. Yeah.
yeah, and the third thing, I can be independent, and
Hmm.
I like to think outside the box. Even when it comes to research, I tell my team as well, think outside the box. I mean, don't be a cookie cutter by just doing one thing. Take the risks. Take the
Yeah,
risks
yeah.
and
And
things.
if I may, because we've talked so many times and we know each other well, I'm going to tell you three things about you that I feel that I uh,
Sure, tell me.
so I think one is, Sumati, you're very caring and very compassionate. You are, whenever
Oh,
I send
thank
anybody
you.
to you, you go overboard to help people.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. Dog lover
Oh, yes. I am an animal lover. Why did I forget that? You're right. I'm a
and
dog lover.
green thumb.
I'm a green with a lot of tips from Katie,
Of course, of course, of course. No, but
I,
ultimately a green thumb, yeah.
yes, I have a
A
green
couple of
thumb.
more
That's what
questions, right? Any new thing that you've been doing on recently, like anything that you've started that you didn't do before?
the only thing that I started, I've been doing yoga regularly. I have
Hmm.
been doing yoga before as well, but I've been a little more religious about it,
Okay, good. Yeah.
routine, keeping a routine. I try to keep a routine. So that's what that is new that I'm doing.
Hmm.
And okay, taking the train to work.
Ah, wonderful.
That's what is new.
Wonderful.
And
Wonderful.
I have time to read. I read on my phone. I read the Financial Times. I read articles on my phone. So
Hmm.
that's something new that I have been doing instead of
Hmm.
driving. Take a train.
Hmm. Productive time, morning, afternoon, night, any particular time of the day
Morning.
that you're
I'm a
productive?
morning person.
Any
I'm a
time
morning person.
period that you feel like this is the most productive?
Yeah, it's because of the dog, maybe. When I had
Yeah.
a dog, she would, wake me up at 5:30 in the morning. So between 5:30 in the morning and say maybe by 11,
Okay.
I have that energy. After that,
Okay.
after lunch, I
Yeah.
lose the energy.
All right. So that's sort of the rapid fire thing, and we'll end by asking you to give advice, general advice to the viewers. Anything about the book that you feel, and then also maybe three specific points that, or a couple of, not three, any specific point for entrepreneurs in the biotech industry on how they should think about their products, services that they're developing from a health economic perspective. And then we'll end with that. So, any
Yeah.
advice that you want to give in these areas?
Yeah, one thing is be resilient. A lot of policies are being rolled out, which we didn't touch on. A lot of policies that are rolled out in the US can affect in Europe and Asia. Inflation Reduction Act and this the MFN that's being rolled out by the current administration. You have to be on top of things.
Yeah,
That's what I would want to say. Be
yeah,
on top of things. Don't give up. There are times when it can be frustrating. There are times when can be extremely confusing.
yes.
Uh, I think this happened at the time of COVID when did it ever before COVID happen where politicians started talking about science?
Oh,
It,
yeah, yeah,
it was
yeah.
during COVID when
COVID.
vaccines and all this became a
True,
political
true.
debate, right? So since then, there are so many policies that are being rolled out.
Yeah,
It's no longer the those days where you had a drug out, FDA approved it, EMA approved it, and there you go, you have the drug in the market. It's no longer the case.
yeah.
Got to be on top of things. Take your time, be resilient, don't get frustrated, and try and understand how it'll be in the future.
Yeah,
The
yeah. No, I think this
the
is very important
landscape
and
is changing so much,
so much
we
every
have to
day,
be we
every
have to be
day.
on our toes. So
Exactly. We are just coming out of this new news about the Iran story and all that. So
oh, I
how
know
things are going to change
exactly,
now. Yeah, change is
exactly.
the only constant I feel. So thank you,
Exactly.
Sumati, for a really interesting talk. I know we could have talked for hours on this
Oh,
topic.
exactly.
We'll definitely
Exactly.
talk more to you about the policies and things that we want to do. But
Yeah.
thank you for taking the time, and more importantly, thank you for writing the chapter. I know it was a lot of
Not at all.
time spent. But to all the viewers, thank you for watching these podcasts.
Thank you.
These podcasts are meant to initiate some conversations. So please use the forums to that on LinkedIn and on this YouTube channel to have the discussion. Keep the discussion going, and stay curious and stay informed. So thank you, Sumati, again.
Thank you.